So here we are again with the introduction to UMNI mining operations and how we do things series. I am Shinji Kurita. You met me earlier in the introduction, but I'll reintroduce myself here. I'm a fairly new player. I participate in a lot of the corporate mining ops, L1, L2, L3 missions, do some probing and scanning, but I am essentially a care bearer, and my role here is to simply teach you kind of what we as a corporation do and how we do the things that we're responsible for within that context. You're going to see me out there in the asteroids a lot, and one of the things that we see all the time is new players having problems getting acclimated to how we do things, and there's a lot of questions that go on and get asked over and over and over again. This particular series is designed to answer some of those questions, specifically the ones related to how we mine when we mine as a group. This particular video is going to cover part 1 and part 2 here, some of the strategy about why we mine the way we do, and some of the mechanics. There'll actually be a demonstration of our mining procedures. Those will I'll go into the game and I'll show you real quick. It won't take you very long to see exactly what we do when we're out in the asteroids and in the belts, so that you can watch this hopefully one time and then go out and participate in a meaningful way and not feel like you're not holding up your end of the bargain as far as one of our ops goes. So jet can mining, let's get right into it. One of the things we want to talk about is the process of jet can mining. Now obviously there are multiple ways to mine. You can mine and then haul, which is simply to go out, fire up your strip miners, let them run till your hold is full, and then take it back. This isn't a very efficient way to do things, so we generally, unless you're mining solo, if you're mining in a group, that's not how we do it, simply because it takes too long. So what we use is a process called jet can mining, or if one of the Orca players is on, like Kelly or Lack, you're going to see one of those giant haulers out there, but sometimes we simply don't have the luxury of having a ship like that in the belts, and when we don't, we resort to this. This is our fallback position. So you can use these techniques when you're solo mining, but I'll get into some of the pros and cons of that a little bit in just a second here. But I wanted to introduce you to the terminology there. Jet can mining is what this is called. So why do things this way? This is one of the important things. It's simply a matter of speed versus safety, right? We want to do things efficiently so that you can get as much ore out of the asteroid belt and back to the hangar as possible. The downside to that, obviously, is that it is not as safe. Using jet can mining, you have a problem with a variety, well, I shouldn't say variety, a single form of griefing, something along the lines of a lot of times you'll see can flippers out there. These are people who, obviously some kind of degenerate that has decided that they take pleasure in going out and looking for miners to beat up. So we're going to show you some of the ways to avoid some of that problem. And like I said, it's not as much of a problem when you're mining in a group. Simply because you're probably going to have enough people online that A, you can defend yourself, or B, you can pick up all of the goods so there's nothing left in space for the can flipper to go after. So, but be aware of that. If you're out solo mining and you decide to jet can, that's something to watch out for. If a guy flips your can, he's doing it for a reason, and that's generally going to be to attack you. I'll talk about safety at the end of this video so that if you run into a situation, you're going to know how to handle it a little better. So there's really 3 things to remember when you're talking about this kind of operation, and that is you have to be 2,500 meters away or close within 2,500 meters of a can to open it up. And I'll show you what that looks like in a little bit here. But if you're not closer than that, you will not be able to open a can, you will not be able to see inside it, and you will not be able to place anything in it. So a lot of times when you're out in the belts, you'll see a bunch of people crowded around a single can. That's normal. That's so everybody has access to it and can dump it all in there, and then our hauler can come through and pick it up in one fell swoop. That way you don't have a lot of people running around. One poor hauler trying to cover 5 or 6 different cans. You put one can out, everybody gets within 2,500 meters of it and dumps all their goods into it. The second thing you want to remember is to set the can name. If you're in charge of, if you jettison a can, you're the one who has to name it. Somebody else can't name it for you. This is important because of some of the game mechanics of EVE. One of the things that they have said, if you issue or set a can and you don't set the name, it has a 1-hour expiration, meaning that after 1 hour, the can and anything in it will disappear. Obviously, this would be very bad if you've got a whole bunch of ore in there that you just worked, for an hour's worth of time putting in there, and the can pops and all of it disappears. You're not going to be very happy. So to prevent that, or to delay that, actually, what you want to do is you want to set the can name, and I'll show you the actual game mechanics of doing that, and then I'll give you some naming conventions that we use as a corporation when you take care of that. Once you have set the can name, you're going to have 2 hours before that can pops. All right. So finally, the last thing I'm going to show you is how to bookmark a can. Well, obviously this is it should be a fairly simple procedure, but we do a couple of things, special things with the bookmarks that you're going to want to be aware of, just in case you've got problems going on, or you want to prevent certain situations from occurring. So I'll demonstrate that in a bit as well. All right, give me just a minute here. We're going to pop out into the demo, and I will show you exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about the 2,500 meters, the naming, setting the can name, and using the bookmarks to prevent your can from popping.